Hey, my name's Jordan Valerian, and in this video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of my online business and show you how I've been able to generate over $1.5 million teaching people how to record and mix heavy music. And if you're interested in starting your own online business and creating your own digital courses, then stick around to the end of this video because I've created a cheat sheet that you can download and take away that summarizes everything that I'm about to walk you through here in this video. So first of all, why did I even get into this business in the first place? Well, I was a hustling music producer. I was spending 7 days a week, often 10, 12 plus hours a day in the studio. And I was living my dream for a number of years, but I started getting burnt out because while living that dream was great at first, I got married, then I had kids, and we had these other dreams and goals. I wanted to be able to provide for my family so that my wife didn't have to go back to work after we had our kids, and I wanted to be able to buy our first home and things like that. So I really started looking for ways that I could earn an income and maybe even supplement my income without having to trade more hours, because I knew that I couldn't just, there wasn't any more hours for me to put in to my studio. So I discovered this idea. I discovered that people were creating online courses built around their passions and teaching courses online and creating these super successful high 6, 7-figure businesses. And I thought maybe I could do that too. So I got obsessed. I started binging on any book and podcast and article I could get my hands on so that I could learn and understand the process of how I could create and launch my own online course and do it successfully and not really be fumbling around in the dark and taking chances. And this is a process that you can model yourself too. And by the way, you can do this in pretty much any niche imaginable. I've met people who are running high 6 and 7-figure businesses in things like ukulele training, computer programming, graphic design, video production, dog training, almost anything you can think of. There are people out there who are just as passionate about it and are just coming in, or they want to grow more and continue learning. They're hungry. They can't get enough of it. And that's where you can come in and provide the information and the training to help them out. So to start off, first you need to understand how the entire business model works, what an online knowledge business looks like from a bird's eye view. And there's really only 3 pillars that matter here, and we're going to break them down here, starting with the first pillar, which is to create value. So create value. So what is value? How do you create it? Well, value, quite simply, is just anything that helps someone achieve a goal faster, easier, gives them new information that improves their life in some way that they didn't have before, or maybe you've provided a better way for them to do something. That is providing value. So how are you going to provide value? Well, first of all, I could say this is when you're putting out free stuff. You're giving away free value, and you can think of it as a bank account that you're putting deposits into before you ever ask for a withdrawal, i.e., try to ask someone to give you money. You need to make those deposits first. So what does value look like? Well, this could be simple things like tips, advice, sharing the mistakes you've made. And by the way, you don't even have to be an expert. So it's not like you have to be at the top level of your field with a bunch of credibility and credentials and credits to your name. That's not necessary. In fact, even if you're just more towards the beginner side, you can still start just sharing everything you're learning. Because if you're out there practicing your craft, learning more, then you're gaining new insights every day, and you just need to pass those along to your audience. So I'm going to write down new learning. So these are the different ways that you can provide value, and how you're going to get that value out there is just one channel. You're just going to choose a channel. So a channel could be video. So you could start a YouTube channel that you can post regular videos giving out value. You could start a podcast and do it in audio form. You could write articles and emails and send those out, or you could just have a social media profile like Instagram or Facebook, but it's got to provide real value, okay? Not just fluffy throwaway stuff. Like actually give advice and tips that are gonna help people related to your specific niche. And this first pillar is very tightly related to the second, which is to build an audience. Build an audience. And this is like probably the most crucial asset that you have to create in your business, because without an audience, it doesn't matter how good your idea is or how good your actual course is. If you don't have an audience, then it's almost completely worthless because no one's going to see it. And so that's why it's so important to start creating value, getting that out in the world, which builds your audience. So these two things are very closely linked. All right, they build on each other, because how do you build your audience? Well, by creating value. Because as you share tips, advice, the mistakes, the things that you're learning, and you're helping people for free, not asking for anything in return, that's how you earn their trust. And that's also how you learn to listen to what they need. So the more you create value and you're building that audience and you're gaining more and more people who are watching and listening to what you have to say, they're going to start interacting, they're going to start commenting, emailing you, and they're just going to straight up just tell you what they need help with. They'll say, hey, I love that video or that podcast that you put out about such and such. Could you also do this topic here? And it becomes really easy at that point, because you're not really guessing, you're just literally giving people exactly what they ask for, which builds trust and helps you understand them better, and it's going to contribute to growing your audience, because then they're going to share it with others. And so you do this continually. You never really stop creating value and building your audience. And another note about your audience here is what type of audience are you creating? So it's one thing to have subscribers on YouTube or podcast listeners or followers on Instagram, but eventually you need to get those people onto something that you own and control. And right now, still the most powerful form of a customer or an audience list you can have is an email list. Okay, it's still the most popular form. So you want people to find your value and become a part of your audience and really raise their hand in a more significant way and say, yes, I want to hear more from you. I don't want to miss anything. Here's my contact information. Here's my email address, so that you can continue to contact me with more stuff like this. And how we capture that email address is usually with something that's called a lead magnet. And a lead magnet is just a free download that you give in exchange for someone's email address, in exchange for someone signing up to your email newsletter. So an example could be a template that they can download, some type of file that's plug and play that they can download and use, maybe some type of worksheet, a cheat sheet, even a free extra lesson or video, something like that, that again delivers more value, but you're just asking them to show some form of commitment to opt in and say, yes, I want more of this, count me in. And the audience part here can actually be built very fast depending on where you're starting right now. So if you're someone who's already got a bit of a following, maybe you have a YouTube channel or a social media profile where you talk about a specific niche or passion or hobby that you're into, and people already follow you there, or maybe you're part of a Facebook group or some other type of online forum or a Twitter community where people are always sharing tips and sharing advice, and you're a known person in that community, whether it's 50 people or 5,000 people. If you've already built some sort of community and some sort of reputation for being a part of that world and contributing to it, well then this part is going to happen really fast, because all you've got to do is commit to doing this regularly and then implement a lead magnet to get people to say yes and opt into your list, and that can grow very, very fast. And if you don't have any of those things yet, it's okay. You just need to start now. You just need to start creating value by putting stuff out there through whatever channel you choose, but also engaging in those communities so that people know who you are and want to join your list. So this is not a question of whether or not you can do it. Anyone can do it. It's just a matter of how fast it's going to be. So I just wanted to specifically call out those of you who have followings. Maybe you're in a band. Maybe you already have a business. Like you're like me when I started out, and I had a Facebook page that had like 800 likes as a producer in my recording studio. And so that's who I went to first and started sharing my tips and free stuff with. And that's how I started building my audience at first. So really think about what's the low-hanging fruit that you could go after to start building your audience. Now, the third piece to talk about is to make offers. Make offers. So what is an offer? Well, an offer is simply an opportunity for someone to pay in order to go deeper, learn more, and work more closely with you. So it could be coaching, one-on-one lessons, but in this case, I'm specifically talking about an online course where someone could buy a set of videos or worksheets or whatever it is, or a set of live group coaching calls or live lessons that you put together, and they're going to pay you to be a part of that. And often what your offer looks like is it's like getting the whole system. So some people question, or they ask, like, if you're creating all this value and putting the advice out there for free, well, why would anyone pay you when you make an offer? Because they're already getting it for free. Well, the thing is when you're putting out the content over here, it's usually shorter pieces of 5, 10, 20, it could be even 30-minute videos or podcasts or whatever, but it's not the whole story. So sure, people could watch 200 videos on YouTube and try to piece it all together by themselves, and a lot of people do, but there's always going to be some people in your audience who just want to go right to the source. They find your content and they say, man, I trust that this person can give me the results that I want, and they can teach me what I want to learn, and I just want to go right to the source now. I don't want to waste my time going through all these videos and trying to piece it all together from all these different sources. I want to learn from you, and I want to do it at the highest level right now. And that's where your offer comes in. So it's often a complete system. So where you have like different pieces over here to start creating your audience, this is where you put it all together and you give them the step-by-step process and formula to follow to give them whatever result that you want to give. Also often includes things like templates, extra tools that they can download, private communities, and more access to you. Sometimes people just want to pay because they just want to get your feedback, right? They don't want to keep doing this on their own. They just want to get feedback from other people like them, and sometimes from you yourself. So that's the whole business model here. Create value, build an audience, and then make offers. It's really extremely simple. So let me walk you through how I actually implemented each of these steps in my very first launch, which was a mixing course aimed at rock and metal recording engineers and enthusiasts to try and help them make their music sound better. So when it comes to creating value, what I did was marry that to building an audience right off the bat. So I kind of had a little bit of a built-in audience. Like I said, I had a Facebook page that I made for my studio or for myself as a producer, and I had something like 700 or 800 likes on that page. So I said, okay, you know what? People are already kind of following me here. I didn't ever post anything there really. It just had a Facebook page for people to, see what I was up to in the studio. So, and the other thing is I was active in some communities, some online forums where people gathered to discuss recording and mixing tips in this genre, in this niche. So those were the two places I started. And what I did was I created a free drum sample. So I gave away one of my free drum samples, a sound that they could download and use in their music that was going to help their mixes sound better right away. And I gave that away for free. I created a page that said, my free secret weapon drum sample, sign up to my newsletter to download it now. I posted it on my Facebook page, posted it in the communities that I was active in already, and started generating email subscribers. And I grew my list to around 300 or 350 people in the first month or two. And from there, I just continued to provide value to those people and to new people. So I would post the odd video. I didn't put out that many videos. I was more focused on getting people over to the lead magnet, and I did that through my Facebook page and the online forums that I was a part of. But maybe a couple YouTube videos, and I continued emailing the people who signed up and just giving them little tips and advice for their music. And as I was doing this, I was reading up and continuing to study on the next step. Okay, how am I actually going to launch a course successfully and know what people are interested in learning? And so I started engaging with the audience while I was studying all this stuff and seeing what were their problems, how did they talk about it, what was it that they wanted more of, and that's what guided my ideas of the course I was going to create. So within about 2 months or 2.5 months, I was ready to give it a shot and actually launch a course. So I created a free video series. It was 3 videos where I gave some of my best mixing tips. It was really like my top 3 or 4 best mixing tips in these videos, and I put them out over the course of a week. And then after that, I made an offer to say, hey, if you want the entire system, if you want to see me mixing an entire song, then you can sign up and purchase my course. And I had pretty low expectations and goals when I did that. The course was $349, and I thought, man, if just like 4 or 5 people buy this, I'll consider this a success. And I ended up getting 28 people to buy that, which was just shy of $10,000 in revenue, which completely blew my mind. But what surprised me even more is that people, the value that they were getting out of this product wasn't just that their music sounded better, but that was having cascading impacts across the rest of their lives. I had one person email me and say, hey, since I took this course, I'm getting so many more clients because my work is so much better that I'm actually so busy in my studio, I just quit my day job that I hated and I'm full-time in my studio, so thank you. And I've had other people say, man, I just got the biggest project I've ever got in my studio after I took this course. And that's something I didn't expect to hear, and it just gave me this fuel and this fire to keep going. And ever since that very first launch, I've been able to take that business from that first $10,000 and generate all the way up to 1.5 million and counting in just a few years. And the way I did it, just doing these 3 things over and over and over again, whether it's updating my course and putting it out again, or creating different courses, more courses for different aspects of music production that people were asking for, that people wanted to learn. I just followed this same process again and again, launched more courses, relaunched older courses, updated them, and just continued to create value, which built more of an audience, which meant every time that I'm putting something new out and making another offer, I've got more people paying attention, more people interested. And doing this has completely changed my life. I mean, we moved into our dream home. My wife never had to go back to work after we had our kids, which was our goal. And we've been able to travel and have amazing experiences, and I can work on whatever I want, when I want, and where I want. And the awesome thing is, building a business like this, it challenges you personally. It causes you to step up and grow so much as an individual, and you learn skills that will serve you for the rest of your life. So even if in 10 years from now you're not creating online courses, well, you're going to learn marketing, sales, how to communicate with people, how to actually build a real business and scale it up, advertising, all of those things, those skills and knowledge that is going to serve you for the rest of your life and allow you to create income and revenue basically on demand. So that's it. That is the core of how my online business works. And this is how myself and so many other people are running multiple 6 and 7-figure business, even 8-figure businesses, by teaching their expertise and helping people via online courses and online training. Now, if this is something that you're interested in pursuing and learning more about, then first step is to download the cheat sheet that I created to go along with this video. It outlines all of this stuff so that you don't have to, keep skipping through this video to find all the info again. You can have it all in one sheet laid out so you know exactly what to do and the core fundamental aspects that you need to focus on to start building your online business. So click the button or the link somewhere on this page to download that cheat sheet now, and you'll also be added to my newsletter so I can continue sending you free content and help you start or scale your online knowledge business. So thanks for watching. Grab that cheat sheet and get out there and start creating value. I'll talk to you soon.